Today's the day. I think this motor's coming out. I got the shifter linkage disconnected. I think that's pretty much all I did after I shut the camera off yesterday. Gotta get the engine hoist set up. Drop the core support. See if the AC compressor is gonna hang nicely or where it's gonna go. And should pretty much be ready to come out. Just gotta get a chain and bolt it up. So I'll start with the core support and get this shit out of the way. Actually, I might get the lift set up first so that when the core support drops, it doesn't get in the way of the lift. That's my plan for now. Got the power steering pump out of the way. There was a third bolt holding it to the transmission, so I took it out. The AC compressor came off. It's held up by some string now. That bolt did come out eventually, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't a straight shot. So now I have the motor jacked up a little bit. Not really jacked up, just got the weight off it. So I should be able to take some motor mounts off and hook a chain up to it. Then I should be able to slide the hoist in over the jack and start lifting. Let's see how this goes. Hope it doesn't just fall out on me. That would suck. Well, nothing holding it in now. Got a chain hooked up to the, I guess that's a lift point. I've got a chain over there on the side of the transmission. Ready to jack it up and see what happens. Just have a jack under there with a piece of wood to distribute the load. Lucky enough to get it kind of centered. So, here it goes. I thought I had that off last night. Apparently, it needs to be pushed out of the way, maybe? The bolts are out, it just didn't come out. If I lower it down a bit, oh, I see, it goes way into the frame. So maybe need to come down and forward. I see. And that should just fall out once it's free enough. Exhaust's cut, that was nice. The axle's out of the way. It's just a greasy mess. So, yeah, come down and forward. Free that up. And I'm already running into a problem with the AC lines here. So I may have to, I don't know. What do I have to do here? Just come forward. Yeah, just gonna keep fucking with it. Well, I got it out. Battery died yesterday. Halfway through pulling this thing out. I got it out. I did have everything disconnected. Kinda. I didn't realize this was sticking into the frame so far. That was holding me up. Had an O2 sensor, had cut the wires. And there was one extra clip for the shifter cable that was holding it in. Other than that, I just had to turn it so the transmission came out first. Then it slid between the AC line and the frame and just came right out. no problems. Got the axles tied up just so they flop around, don't get jammed up somewhere. Got all the power steering shit zip tied up so it's out of the way. So it's empty kinda. And today I'm just gonna put the idler pulley back on so it doesn't get lost. Take all the core support apart, take the fans off, the radiator, and get all the AC shit tied up out of the way. Not sure where, but it'll get tied up somewhere. And then I think this thing's ready to go. At least ready to go outside so I can finish stripping it. Still want to pull the steering, the whole tilt mechanism, and like to get it out. I thought that where the yellow plug is, I thought that was going to be a junction box to get the wiring to the outside. But there are no wires underneath, so I'm going to pull that box out and see what it is. I think the shifter is going to be garbage. I'm going to pull the handle off. Handle's still good. Maybe the e-brake handle. Got the catalytic out. I cut it up here, but there was a bracket down there. It's actually just a rubber. Might be able to sell that too. I had to pull bolts out of this so I could slide the thing forward and get it out. The rest of the exhaust is still on. Not sure if these scuff plates are worth a shit. Might pull those off. Other than that, I think it's going to be ready to go outside today or tomorrow. I'm going to pull the wheels off and see if there's anything up front that's worth saving. I don't know if that cross member is worth anything. While it's up on blocks, might as well pull it out and just finish stripping it. Might as well. Not sure what this is. I'll probably pull it off. I can still get to it. Just lots of little things, and I'm ready to get rid of this, start looking for something else. Actually, I've been looking for something else, but no luck getting it. Yes. So yeah, I'm going to start up here with this stuff and work my way through it. I got it all apart. The condenser's tied up. Might do a little better job on that. Compressor's tied up. Might get that a little higher now that it's everything in the front's free. There are 4 bolts holding this on to the radiator. With the core support off. 1, 2, 3 bolts holding the latch assembly on. So I got that off. These are the 4 bolts that were holding the radiator in. And I think the condenser was attached here. So I'm going to put those bolts back in. And it's all apart. It'll need cleaning, but good to go. I was never good at the Boy Scouts thing, but got the compressor up higher. Got that above the ground so scrapper won't drag it and crack it open. Nice fancy knots. On this side, there's a wing bolted on here. Got it out of the way so I could lift it up higher. Probably straighten that tube a little more, but it should be good enough. I can put the bumper on. I'm probably just going to cut those wires. Get them out of the way. Pretty, huh? It works. I got everything out without cracking the AC system open. No leaks. I did finally hear back from all the mobile mechanics in town. Most don't have mobile AC systems. They don't want to get into that shit. Once you get into fixing one thing, O-ring somewhere else leaks. It's a constant problem, I guess. And the one guy that does have a mobile system, his evacuation system is down for a few weeks and out for repair. So it is what it is. Guessing those parts aren't worth anything. Maybe some lines would have been worth something, but not enough to worry about. I'll probably have to drop it down again so I can get to the steering and brakes, and maybe. We'll see. I forgot to get this box off, but I can get to it again, so we're good. Still not sure what it is, but I'll get it off right now. Radiator fan control module. Of course, it's all zip tied up. I'm guessing they were trying to do something in there that the wires to the fans were cut and spliced into, and someone did a half-assed job with that. So that's probably what was going on here. So I'm just going to cut that shit and have something else to list. Good find. It was just tucked up under here with 2 10mm. I cut the wires, but I got that shit spliced so far in there. Plugs aren't going to be worth anything to anybody. So just throw the plugs out and twist the module. I'm not sure what this was. have to look up that part number. But I'm guessing it's important because the bolts are next to impossible to get to. Got two in the front, which weren't too bad. But this one back here, way back here. The third bolt was way back here. And it's really hard to get a socket on with this wire loom here. So I'm gonna have to look that up. I guess if I knew Swedish, or maybe it's in German, figure it out, but oh, that's the airbag module. Okay, should have figured that out because it's yellow. All the airbags had yellow plugs and all the sensors had yellow plugs, so. It says do not install in other vehicles. Okay. Well, the shifter is probably something I should have thought about when the car was jacked up. I got the front two bolts out. There seems to be something else back here somewhere. And most of the plastic's broken anyways, so I couldn't figure out how to get it apart, so that's trash. I'm just going to save the handle and let the shifter go with the car. Or maybe I'll look at it once it's jacked up outside, but we'll see. Might take a look at this e-brake handle. Doubt it's worth anything, but while I have the tools here, I might as well pull it. I think. Yeah, it looks like there's only one bolt, or one nut holding it in now, and then the adjuster. That might be a pain in the ass. Well, I'll take a look. Gotta get some of this other shit out of the way. The back seat's filling up with junk, garbage. I got the e-brake handle off. Didn't realize that this had, you only had to loosen this a little bit. I took this nut all the way off and then this thing fell off. So, through a nut that's screwed to a nut on a stud that's screwed to the floor. So, just put all that back together. Doubt whoever buys it needs the hardware, but you never know. And just cut the wires to it. So, a few more pieces today. And just for the hell of it, I put the idler pulley back on. Doubt it's something that's going to ever be used again, but at least it's there. Wish I had more degreaser. I'd take this out and clean it up, but it is what it is. Probably create a listing for that this afternoon, get it on Facebook, and hope it goes. Don't want this shit sitting around for too long. It's getting in the way. I was just thinking about all this steering and brakes and shit. I think if I was somebody else and I got this far into it, I'd be buying new parts. I wouldn't be fucking around with anything used. Rack and pinion, I think you can get for 100 and something. Brake booster, not even worth it. sway bar might be worth pulling, but I think for the most part all that shit's just going to stay there. See what kind of electronics are up under the brakes, but I think it's all going to stay. Just get scrapped like this. Pull the wheels off and be done. And even if I got some of this fuel stuff off, probably set off some red flags at the post office when it smells like gas. So I think that's all the stripping that's going to get done. Except for maybe the steering column. That'll be the last thing that comes out. For the Audi, I cut this off the Volkswagen. Pretty sure the box is going to be the same. It's 4 wires, plug, main wire. I wanted to change this terminal, but on the Audi, the terminal is one piece down to the starter. And I cut that cable. So, unless I get a new starter cable, can't use that terminal yet. I'm going to keep it. This looks new. This is still good, but... And the battery from the Volkswagen fits in nicely here. Needed that. It's only 2 years old. Really needed a battery for this thing. So, yeah, I'll hold on to this for some other day. Put it in the Audi box. And for anyone wondering, that's the little Audi. It's my little race car. Probably about 300 horse. Nothing really special, but I got it cheap. Just had the timing belt done, water pump. It's almost like a weekend driver, except I don't drive it every weekend because I don't go many places, but it's a nice little car. It's fun. It's like an oversized go-kart. Back to this thing. Got rid of all the wires that were dangling. Just got them out of the way. No point in saving them now. Should have just fucking cut them in the first place. Guess that's all that power steering. Why does the power steering lines have to be so long? It just loops upon itself for no good reason. Stupid design. Maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe it keeps it cool, or I don't know. One thing I didn't see in this anywhere was a transmission cooler. Don't know if the 4 cylinders need that or not, but didn't have it. Or maybe that runs through... No, maybe it runs through the engine somewhere. Yeah, here's the heater line, so maybe this is the transmission cooler. That's the other heater hose. And this, it's all attached. Oh, maybe that was the transmission cooler. So we might be done with this thing for today. Gonna go get some parts cleaned up and get more shit listed. I think I got 2 things to box up today. Stuff isn't selling fast, but it's selling. So, this is one last look at this while it's in here. So I think tomorrow I'm going to push it out in the yard, get the rest of it stripped, and get a scrapper over here to take it away. I will look at the fuel canister tonight, just to make sure, but I don't think it's worth anything. I'm going to take that chrome piece off. I should do that right now. So that's the last look at it. Got the chrome piece off. Hopefully that straightens up a little bit when I hammer it back on. That over here with the other stuff. 2 side pieces there. That's more stuff to get sold. I don't think this back window's worth a shit. I think you can get those pretty cheap. So I think this thing's done. Got one more thing to do. If the EPA ever comes after me wondering what I'm doing with the fluids, I'm going to send that shit back to the junkyard and let the junkyard deal with the disposal of them. Didn't really have that much to deal with on this car, but I'm just going to put it all in the gas tank and let the junkyard deal with it. That's the plan. So there's mostly just radiator fluid, a little bit of power steering fluid, and that's all that's going in there. Nothing toxic. Just let that shit drain overnight and the pan will be nice and clean for the next car. But that's where my fluids are going. I think we're only allowed 2 trips for disposal a year at the local recycling place, so if junkyard wants to pay for the car, they can pay for the fluids too. Guess that pretty much eliminates any chance of sucking the gas out of it, but it's okay. So that's going to be it for today. It was another good day. Just got lots of parts to clean up and get more shit listed. See you next time.